Now, this section needs quite a lot of work. The idea is that Tom is getting a little bit louder with his dad, beginning to form a really verbal argument, but the dad cuts him off immediately, before he has a chance to. This really shakes Tom. So we have to sort of find a way to make it clear that Tom was coming into this conversation looking for a fight, but was immediately bested. We want to make this line from the dad a strong presence, and we want to make sure that that presence resonates with Tom in this shot here, or any other take that we choose that's going to be stronger than what we already chose. So let's work on this section and see if we can improve it. So the first thing we're going to have to do is hop into our line breakdown here and look at all the different takes of that moment. That's going to be back here. Now we have all these different shots to choose from to construct this moment. And we have to find just the right ones. And it's possible that we didn't choose the right ones when we built our first rough pass. So let's see if we can figure out which one of these is not working, and then kind of go from there.
I love that horse as much as you do, but Myra is just a horse.
I'm not going if she can't come with us.
Tom! The horse will be fine.
I think for me, it's this shot right here that isn't really playing. There's something about his performance that doesn't feel like he's sort of reacting to what just happened right here. It feels like we need to find something a little bit of a bigger reaction from this character to come out of the dad's shouting.
Tom! The horse will be...
So let's begin by just removing this right here, and actually even taking the dad's dialogue and putting it to the side for a totally different angle. Maybe what we need to do is find a shot that focuses on Tom reacting, then have the dad's dialogue begin. So let me go ahead and just remove this shot. I'm going to drag the dad's dialogue out from the shot after it. So this is now the dialogue that used to be there. And we're going to move it out of the way for a second, just to give ourselves some room to work. And we're going to hop into our line breakdown and see if we can find something from Tom that's a bit of a stronger reaction to what's happening with the dialogue.
We can't bring her with us.
Tom?
So we can see that we began with a bit of a weaker shout in earlier takes. So we're going to try and find the moment when the dad really gives him the right sort of shouting performance for him to react to.
Family!
That's really good right there. That's a really good, solid reaction that might actually work really well for us. So we're looking at 8A, take 2. Let's check out 8A, take 5, pickup.
She's part
Tom!
of the family!
And that's really good as well. 5 pickup is really solid.
Going if she can't come with us. She's
Tom!
part of the family.
Now I want to try to avoid some of these wider angle shots. I don't think that we're getting quite the right reaction from him in these moments. And I think that changing the shot and having such a powerful emotional moment might be too much all at once. So I think we have to stick with either take 2 here or take 5 and take 6 pickup. I think we should begin with take 6 pickup, which was the last one that was filmed of this shot on the day of production. Now, in my line breakdown, one of the disadvantages of this is that I ended right after the dad's line. And so we don't have Tom's immediate reaction, because that would be in the next group of lines in the line breakdown. So in this case, what I might do is head over to my bin for scene 8, look for shot 8A, take 6 pickup, and load that up into my source. And we'll just find that moment, which is right here.
She's part of the family.
The horse will be...
And we can see that we actually have a lot more of Tom's reaction here. Now, we're just caring about the visuals at the moment. Even though the dad starts speaking really soon, we could probably avoid any of that by just focusing on Tom's reaction.
Come with us. She's
Tom!
part of the family.
The horse will be fine. Okay?
Although in this case, we're actually getting pretty lucky. We have really nice, clear audio on the dad. And in an effort to try to keep the scene a little bit more Tom focused, we might be able to cut in this entire reaction, including the dad's dialogue of this take, which is a really good performance, into our scene. Let me go ahead and grab this entire section here, and we'll bring it in and we'll cut this in. Let's listen to how that all plays out now.
A horse.
I'm not going if she can't come with us.
Tom! The horse will be fine. Okay?
That's pretty good. It's a bit of an intense moment, broken up by a loud shout, and it kind of works to come back to a little bit of a louder moment. But I think what we have to do now is figure out how to get out of this sort of loud shouting match into a softer and gentler dad so that his point can come through a little bit more clearly to Tom and try to convince him to change his mind. Now, we're currently using 8C take 3, where the actor performed the scene like this.
The horse will be fine, okay? I can't promise, but you trained her to be solid and strong.
Now, this is a really great performance from this actor. However, it might be possible to find an entirely different take of this same lines, where his performance is a little bit calmer at this moment. So maybe there's a large gap after he shouts at Tom, and then he kind of calms down and is a little bit gentler. Let's see if we can find something that works in that direction. We can head back to our line breakdown for that. Now that'll be in the back here for the dad's monologue. And I think we should definitely be looking for one of these wider angle shots. In fact, going from the close-up to the wider angle also feels a little bit less confrontational. So we're currently using 8C take 3. Let's check out take 2 here.
The horse will be fine, okay? I can't promise, but you've trained her to be solid and strong.
Now that's a really good read. Let's check out take 1.
The horse will be fine, okay? I can't promise, but you trained her to be solid and strong.
Now this is kind of what we're looking for here. He sort of drops out of the sharper tone and into something a little more dad-like and caring.
I can't promise, but you trained her to be solid and strong.
And I think this is just the section that we need here. So let's head back and cut this into our timeline. Now we went up to this line here.
Strong.
Let's see where we ended up with this shot.
The horse will be fine, okay? I can't promise, but you trained her to be solid and strong.
And that's great. This is just the section that we're replacing. Let's go ahead and remove this shot here and put everything back together. Now we're going to see how this entire section plays out.
But Myra is just a horse.
I'm not going if she can't come with us.
Tom, the horse will be fine, okay? I can't promise, but you trained her to be solid and strong. And now you need to do that for yourself. This is something we have to do as a...
Now I'm loving this reaction shot from Tom here. I think it's a really good reaction from him in this moment. But the problem is that we're using some of the natural audio from the actual take, and we should actually be trying to go for the best performance of the dad's monologue here, as opposed to whatever audio comes with this reaction shot. So let's go ahead and remove this audio entirely. And we're going to move everything out of the way so we can more easily see it. We're going to drag out some of this and try to find those lines. Maybe we can find the best take of those lines to put underneath this reaction.
And now you need to do that for yourself.
Let's make sure it flows nicely out of the back of this shot.
You trained her to be solid and strong. And now you need to do that for yourself.
And that's a really good read. So all we're going to do is just swap out the audio that was underneath this reaction with audio from a better take of the dad's delivery. I'm going to put this reaction back kind of where I had it. And we'll close up this space. Let's see how that plays out.
You trained her to be solid and strong. And now you need to do that for yourself.
Now, I'm really liking the way that the dad is performing here, but I want to give Tom a little bit more emphasis in this moment. This is sort of the moment when the dad does, in fact, convince Tom to think about changing his mind. So I want to give Tom's reaction a little bit more weight by expanding it here. And I'm liking what he's doing, and maybe we even give it a little bit more at the front as well. Now the scene is becoming a little bit more Tom focused, even though we're finding the best performances from the dad to combine together underneath the reactions.
It'll be fine, okay? I can't promise, but you trained her to be solid and strong, and now you need to do that for yourself. This is something we have to do as a family. We're going out in the universe.
Now we can do the exact same thing back here.
We're going out in the universe to make a new life.
Because this performance here is actually kind of a mistake. So we want to go ahead and remove that. We're going to lift this out of the way and extend the dad's monologue here a little bit. Making sure not to duplicate anything, like you can see right here. These are the exact same two waveforms. And we'll just put all this back together. And make sure that this reaction shot of Tom is making sense right here.
We're going out in the universe to make a new life. This is important. I need you to say goodbye.
Now, I think it would be nice to actually remove this line right here. This is important. It was a really good idea in the script, but ultimately, I don't think that it actually makes sense emotionally between the two characters, and it would be better if we went ahead and removed it. Now, this is something you'd want to discuss with the director, but sometimes removing a line that was filmed on set while in editing can make the scene even better. So the scene would look like this if I remove it.
Verse. To make a new life. I need you to say goodbye. Because come Friday morning...
And there you go. We actually get to the meat of the scene a little bit faster this way. Now we can actually extend some of Tom's reaction just to cover up that edit a little bit. Even though we are covering the actual edit point, sometimes it's the emotion of an edit that you need to cover up with a bit of a reaction. Not just the technical of putting two shots back to back. Let's check it out now with that little extra reaction.
Verse. To make a new life. I need you to say goodbye. Because come Friday...
Now this is a good opportunity to actually find a stronger final line from the dad. Even though this is a really great performance, there might be something that's even better. Let's check out our line breakdown and see if we can find a line that's going to even resonate more strongly at the very end of the scene. Let's check out the very last take.
I need you to say goodbye. Because come Friday morning, we have to go.
I'm not a huge fan of the last couple of lines there. Let's check out something from 8D Take 3.
Because come Friday morning, we have to go.
Maybe take 2?
I need you to say goodbye. Because come Friday morning, we have to go.
I think that has a really strong sort of resolving tone to it, and I'm going to cut that into our scene.
We have to do as a family. We're going out in the universe to make a new life. I need you to say goodbye. Because come Friday morning, we have to go.
Now that's really great, but it's really important to remember that this scene is all about Tom, and even though the dad is actually saying the name of the movie in the last line of this scene, it would be good to make sure that we end the scene on a note with Tom's reaction, so that we know where he's at emotionally once we get to the very end. Let's hop in and check out all of Tom's reactions. And I think that since we moved into the dad's close-up here again for the ending, we should try to match it with one of Tom's close-ups.
Because Friday morning, we have to go.
There's a lot of really good stuff happening here, and maybe this part is a little bit too much. Maybe we end right before he moves his head. And we get that sort of swallow. So like right here. Now I don't need any of Tom's audio, I just need the video. I'm going to cut it in right here at the back, but I'm going to move it up and over to find a good place to put that reaction. Maybe right here would be good. I'm just guessing at this point. I don't know if this will work or not, but we have to start somewhere. The The more you edit, the more you'll be able to judge where to place cuts in your sequence by eye. But it's a skill that requires constant practice. So if you find that your first guess is way off the mark, that's okay. Making adjustments is a part of the process.
We're going out in the universe to make a new life. I need you to say goodbye. Because come Friday morning, we have to go.
And that's really great. So we're really wrapping up the scene on Tom's final reaction, so we know where he's at once the scene is over. I'm just going to move these reaction shots down into the first video track of my timeline, so I know that they're really a part of what I'm putting together. And take a look at the whole thing now. So we can see that the video is a lot more Tom focused. Even though a lot of the audio comes from the dad's actual coverage, we've given Tom a lot more reactions throughout and extended the way that we feel about Tom as the scene goes on. So we're really tracking Tom's emotional arc from beginning to end of this scene now. This lesson is going to have some homework. First, you'll want to watch your cut in its entirety to get the context of your scene. Next, you'll want to look at balancing the screen time between the two characters, making sure we track Tom's emotional journey more closely throughout the scene. Finally, you'll also want to make sure that you've identified the best performances and takes for each moment. The emotion of the scene should ring true from start to finish, while simultaneously trying to use the best visual take as well. Coming up in the next lesson, we're going to be cutting the sad bench scene, part 1.